tip for marketing success is that marketing is food. Specifically, marketing is food and not medicine. We have a lot of people in our agency that come to us when they're only having a problem. But that's not really how marketing works. When is the best time to get a job? Before you're needed, when you've already got a job, right? So marketing is the same way. The best time to market is when you're already having leads coming in. So that's my first tip for you. Does anyone know what the Small Business Association recommends that you spend on marketing? 7 to 8% that you have set aside of your budget to marketing. So I take it from the room and the lack of hands that you didn't actually even know that the Small Business Association had a recommendation at all. So most of our clients don't know. In fact, when we say, do you have a budget in mind, most people say no. So do set aside, and we're talking about this today specifically so that you can plan your 2017 budget and plans. So set aside an amount for budgeting for your marketing so that you've got plans going in for the new year. Number 2 is visitors are not customers. Specifically, I'm coming at this from a social media bent because that's our specialty at Move Digital. But lots of people, especially on a social media front, think only about your vanity metrics. How many eyeballs saw something, right? I got 300 fans. My competition has 3,000 fans. Or 2,000 people saw that post. Who cares? Right? How many of them converted to a lead? How many of them walked in the door? How many of them bought something? So, at the end of the day, eyeballs don't spend money. Right? So, visitors are not your customers, and you cannot compare your insides to someone else's outsides. In different words, we tell our children that all the time. Please remember that for yourselves as well. So you cannot take a look at somebody else's page, specifically your customers, and see how well it's doing. It's just a vanity metric. You need to consider other things. How many people are signing up for your email newsletter? That's a lead. How many people are actually walking into your store? How many people are clicking from your social media to your website and then downloading something for free and then paying $2.99? So those are the types of things that are going to get you business, not how many eyeballs are seeing something. And number 3 for me is that social media is everything except for magic. So oftentimes you're going to hear the words social media marketing. And social media can be marketing. Here are all the other things that social media can be. Social media can be recruiting. Social media can be crisis management. Social media can be listening. Social media can be branding. Social media can be customer service. Social media can be crisis communication. Those are some. They're definitely not all. It can probably be about 20 different things. I know those are some of the things that we do for our clients. Marketing is only one of them. Sometimes we call ourselves marketers because it's easy, but a lot of our clients we don't do very much marketing for. We actually do only customer service. We only do listening for some of our clients. A lot of our government contractor clients, we only do branding for or recruiting for. So, it's all of these little puzzles that a lot of people say, I don't need social media because I don't need marketing. Maybe not, but you might need to have some other pieces of these puzzles, and people are social, and I almost guarantee, considering that over 90% of people are on social media, that you need to be there too. What social media is not is magic. So a lot of people think, I have to be on social media because I heard someone say I need to be there, and all of the things it did for their company. Well, that's probably a marketer telling you that. So it's not magic, it's just one piece of the pie. And that's going to lead into what Vicki has to say.
All right. We'll go on this side. All right. How many of us know how to figure out our target market? Do you have an idea of who your target market is and how to reach them? That's one of the things that's hugely important when you start to develop your marketing. You need to know who you're marketing to. It can be more than just one group. Many times there's a primary group, a secondary group, a tertiary group, and there's several different ways that you market to each group. Finding out who these groups are, taking time to do that research, and finding out what makes this group tick, what makes that group tick, what's different about each one, and how can I speak to their needs is something key in figuring out our marketing strategy. A lot of what Laurie talked about is your social media and things that you need to do to be social. What I do a lot is more marketing, teaching you what to put on there, how to talk to people, and that directly relates to what you put on your social media. So the things that we do really go hand in hand. And figuring out who that target market is. Sometimes your target market may be on Facebook, or other times they may be on Reddit. Those are two totally different audiences, and you've got to know how to communicate with each of them. Where can you find your target audience? Are you going to networking groups? Are you going to association groups where these people congregate? This is a networking group. The Chamber has other networking functions. There are other organizations in the local area that are networking groups. These are places where you can meet your potential customer, or like I said in our earlier announcements, helping you to find other people that can benefit from your services, or you can tell someone else about another person's service. Finding that target market. Let's see, understanding the demographics of each of your target markets. Your demographics are going to tell you where they're hanging out. You know, is it a younger crowd? They may be on Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter, or they may be at local bars, or, you know, going out to family-friendly events that, you know, that target audience may have young children. These are places, if your business, your product or service caters to that particular target audience, that's where you need to be, because that's where they are going to hear you. All right, another thing that we need to be cognizant of in our marketing is communicating to connect. Make sure that what you're putting out about your company is in a language that's digestible. And I say that because we're here in Huntsville, in an engineering town. The government is here, and there are lots of acronyms and lots of jargon-rich communication. I joke with my husband. He works for the civilian military, and at home he is our resident military acronym expert. So anytime the news has something on that has an acronym or something about the military, I always look at him. All right, tell me what that is, and he's like, okay, rattle it off. Well, if I am a target audience, I'm sitting in a presentation, and a government person or someone who is a government contractor or military is doing that presentation, and they're presenting to a group of marketers, we need to dial that jargon way down, because it's not in a language that I, as the audience, can digest. How many people have been in a presentation where it is so jargon-filled, you're just like, okay, let me figure out, what does that mean? What is that acronym? What is that? Yes. Yes, so that is about studying your audience. Who are you presenting to? Because what you're communicating is not about how much you know. It's about how much you can get your audience to know about what you are presenting. Because you want to turn them into customers So they need to be able to digest what you're telling them. Another great way for communicating to connect. The chamber does something, and then there are other networking groups that do it as well. It's called speed networking, when we do breakfast and biz or different things like that. Communicating is mostly about listening. If we were doing a speed networking thing, everyone would be sitting at a table, and we go around the table, and you'd have 1 minute to give your elevator pitch. Something that I do, I challenge myself in doing that. I listen to what other people have said, and I tailor my pitch to meet a need that I heard someone say. Or I survey the room, and I know when I get to sit at a table with David, I'm going to be talking about something that has to do with art, or something that is creative, something that I can say about what I do that's going to pique his interest. He's going to listen. He may not be a customer right then, but it will plant a seed. So that's a little trick that you can do when you do those networking things. Figure out what that audience, what's important to that person. Answer a pain point, and that makes you that more reliable in their eyes. Then they're going to look to you as a resource and maybe turn into a customer for you. All right, making your move. What marketing strategy is going to work best for you? When Laurie talked about social media and all the things that social media can do, that's one part of what marketing can be. Marketing is so big of a term. It can be web design, it can be graphic design, it can be PR, it can be social media, it can be so many different things. You have to figure out what works best for you in the place you are in your business. You may think that, well, I have to have a web page first, I have to have such and such first, I have to have my social media first. Well, maybe you do and maybe you don't. Where you are and what target audience you're looking to obtain will dictate what works best for you and what aspect of marketing or sales or advertising or PR or crisis management or whatever it may be best for you to help you get your message to your target audience and helping you communicate better.